Match of the day in our semi-final round of the playoff bracket into the upper bracket proceedings, where everything is still set to play for our top 4 teams in the tournament. I'm the Eternal J. I'm joined by Jammer, and I don't just say top 4 because they're in the semi-finals. All 4 of the squads in our semi-finals today were all seeded into pot 1 prior to the tournament's beginnings. We're taking a look at eMasters Coalesce, but honestly, mate, I wish this was Soccer Saturday so we could see all the matches involved in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a bit of confusion about which game we even wanted to cover, and yeah, I think it came down to a close tie. I'm hearing myself really delayed, and it's really jarring.
Yes, I don't know if we can readjust there.
There we go. Okay, all right.
Awesome. Sorry, little few technical issues over the course of today so far. So we're just getting those ironed out. We'll be sure to bring you as best a show as we possibly can. But look, right, both the semi-finals are going to be epic, to like the better term. Really, we've got eMasters Coalesce. We've got Arctic Raptors versus Viperia. I wanted to say the Arctic Raptors Viperia one, but we're going to bring in eMasters Coalesce in this one, and this one should bang out just as good as all the matches have done so far over the course of the last 2 days, and again, certainly worthy of a semi-final matchup overall today.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, for both of these semi-finals, I've got a personal stake in them, so I'm loving life right now. As well, you can't quite see on stream if I stand up.
There you go. There we are.
Repping the Coalesce top. I think I've got
everyone's been getting jerseys from them today.
Yeah,
over the last couple of days, the guys at the Bin Men, for example, they were just handing out Coalesce jerseys.
Oh, really? Okay, I had no idea about that. No, this is full disclosure. My girlfriend's a content creator for them, and this is hers. So yeah, I'll have to go over there and steal another one or something. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm really excited to see what Coalesce have brought to this LAN. We haven't seen necessarily too much from this squad before LAN. Like, they don't really attend to any LANs, I should say. But yeah, they've been absolutely dominant. I don't think they've really been tested right now, and eMasters really does look like their kind of first big challenge, and that's kind of weird to say in the semi-finals.
Well, look, they went 7-0 in both their groups, so they absolutely had an absolute whale of the time for the eMasters, or for Coalesce rather, as you mentioned, probably not really being tested in the same sort of fashion that we'd hoped them to do. They've had a number of one-sided matches over the course of their run. The only real issue was the 3 friends side of the 16-14. That was still a win for Coalesce, but it was the only real time that they've really been pushed quite the distance so far. So yeah, I understand what you sort of mean in that sort of sense, in the sense that they haven't really been tested in the way that they would, or we would have hoped them to be. So yeah, I guess you could sort of say they're de facto favourites by a certain capacity. Again, it's one of those matches where you sort of could toss a coin, and that would probably be as good a prediction as we could come up with all our analysis, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you're looking at the eMasters, I think they're a very kind of snowbally, kind of momentum-based team. So if they start off hot here, then they can absolutely run away with things. But, if they have some issues, if there's a bit of tilt coming in, then, I think that's really where we can see Coalesce run away with things. And that's purely why we would put Coalesce a little bit ahead of this squad. But that's nothing to say that eMasters can't come into this and they can't come out strong. But I'm just hoping that we do see that strong start and have a good game to start off things. Yeah,
strong start is going to be all that vitally important, as we like to say. In terms of the lineups we've seen, I think both squads on stream over the course of the last couple of days, especially during the best of one day. So we've got an idea as to how they're playing at this particular LAN event. I remember eMasters doing particularly well in their match that I got to see on stream, and for Coalesce, look, they're Coalesce at the end of the day. They're a really strong squad. In terms of players to watch out for, obviously I know that you've got a little bit more of in-depth knowledge about these squads, in particular the Coalesce side. Is there anyone you want to see really pop off in this sort of matchup?
I think even coming into this event, people were touting Azuru as being like the MVP of the entire thing, and I kind of think he's lived up to that standard. He's definitely been performing so far, so definitely keep an eye on him. But I think looking on the eMaster side of things, I really think that Dexter and Leaf have shown a lot from me personally, and I think if Dexter can pop off with the AWP, it may be even Emmy pulling off his cheeky antics. If he's able to get away with anything, then they might just spur them on for a bit more success. But I don't know. It really, really does depend on how hot they start.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Dexter, because it looks like, again, as you mentioned before, he's been an absolute pop-off element. But look, we've got our stars sort of involved in these particular sides. We have to take a look at our vetoes and see how the maps will play out in this one. It's best of 3 rules, of course. So we'll be bringing you the full 3 map-up series. Ancient, Vertigo, and Overpass shall be the maps played over this one. I'm not surprised to see Overpass coming out as the last pick of the day. eMasters going into Ancient on this one.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick. I don't remember how many games they've played on it off the top of my memory. Of course, I researched a little bit backwards, but yeah, interesting pick. Vertigo from Coalesce, though. That's another little bit of a spanner in the works for me personally. I'll have to look back before the match starts and try and read up on the stats to see how things stack up. But honestly, I love these 3 maps coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just personally speaking, you know, it's always fun getting some new mixes in there. Sure, we've seen a lot of Overpass so far. It's a good decider map, but I don't think we've seen quite enough Ancient and Vertigo.
No, I mean, we've definitely seen a lot of Overpass. I'm a little bit sick of that map, if I'm being honest with us. But look, it's nice to see two opening maps that are going to completely contrary to what we've seen over the course of the last couple of days, and in that last series especially. Again, I'm curious to see how well it will go down for the eMasters, especially going into that Ancient pick, kind of an arguable wild card in a certain capacity. Obviously, they'll be on the T-side start as a result of that. So for Coalesce, it could be their chance to really pull off some I don't want to say upsets in this map up, but you know they'll be able to pull off that early start that you mentioned, right? You wanted to see some early aggression, some early prominence within the map up itself, and this is both a chance for Coalesce to do just that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just taken a quick glance at yesterday's quarterfinals, actually, and well, eMasters against Click Esports, for those of you that tuned in, that was actually a pretty good game if you didn't catch it. But one thing to look back on is Vertigo. eMasters didn't perform too well, 16-6 on that one, so that's perhaps a punish pick coming in through Coalesce. You know, if their coach or whoever was watching behind the scenes maybe picked up a few things that they can exploit moving forward.
We have not yet to see an Ancient coming in from the Coalesce side. On the contrary, actually their first match against JZ Ray was Mirage and Inferno.
Okay.
Both were 16-5, so again, coming into this one is a bit more of a hot streak more than anything else here. That three-map series, that series from the eMasters versus Click was actually a three-map affair, and they actually got pushed to 16-14 towards the end of it. So again, kind of looking at the history of the tournament run so far, right now it does feel like to me that Coalesce have the stronger basis to play from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've got a little bit more data to work with, and just looking at how things are panning out, even like without the veto, you know, of course, having the quality and the caliber of players that you do on Coalesce, you're kind of expecting to come into this one with a win, and just after the vetoes, I think that only kind of reinforces that idea.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'm excited to see how Vertigo will play out in that sort of sense with the punish pick involved in this one. I do fear the CT start for Coalesce in this sense, right? Because you talk about Vertigo being a punish pick from their side of things. If they get off on the right foot here on this kind of map up, which has always historically been CT-sided, with the CT meta right now, it feels to me that Coalesce have not the guarantee, but the potential to really roll the eMasters side. You talk about them being a snowball sort of squad. If they don't get started off on the right foot, if they don't snowball themselves, then Coalesce could do quite a lot of damage in the early game, and that could seriously harm their chances in this best of three.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another bit of tidbit, you know, a LAN special kind of thing, is that these two teams are actually playing back-to-back in this kind of a scenario. So currently, you know, there's a little bit of a delay because we're laying out the barriers so that players can't, you know, be a bit cheeky with it. But yeah, there is that element of like mentality, you know, if a player's really popping off, then you might hear some screaming at each other because they're literally sat opposite each other back-to-back. So maybe, you know, that mentality can come into things. And I love that about LAN. You know, you're sitting so close to someone, you can get the trash talk going. And
yeah, smack talk, literally when it's that around, he's like, what are you talking about? Get really into it, you know, and that's kind of what we need to obviously protect integrity, make sure that you can't go too overboard with that, and certainly, obviously, you don't want to look around and see other players' screens. So, yeah, we're just waiting on that to get set up, and then hopefully we should be live in a short few moments' time. So, I think now's a good time to talk predictions in terms of the series. I'm going to go Coalesce exclusively because just the strength that they've had over the course of the first round of the playoffs and the group stage itself. For me, I'm going to go through 2 maps, I think.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to be a little bit risky on this one because, again, I look towards that CT half of things, and I look towards how that will sort of go in the sense of this map up, and I think that, yeah, actually this is a good chance for Coalesce to try punish. But there's an easy chance that eMasters could take us to 3. I still feel like Coalesce should have the series, though. Yeah,
absolutely. I think going into this one, you'd be a fool not to really lean into Coalesce's corner. I've got that personal bias myself, but you know, I actually think eMasters could steal this one away. So I'm going to actually pick 2-1 eMasters. I think they will lose Vertigo, but Overpass is really anyone's game if we do reach that point. It really does depend on if eMasters can get this initial pick on Ancient. And I think it is an interesting pick. You know, I don't think Coalesce would necessarily have prepared for this kind of a pick coming into this matchup. Of course, eMasters didn't play it yesterday, so yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a good game in either direction, but I really think, you know, eMasters coming in with the surprise pick could steal it.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to sort of predict if we go to that third map because Overpass is so well played in the UK scene itself. So if we get there, then buckle in, boys, because it's going to be an interesting time. But look, for this first map again, I'm sort of having faith that Coalesce should be able to hold on a very good dominant opening CT half. And if they can make it a one-sided half at that, then there's going to have to be a lot of work put in by the eMasters to try to bring it back and win their own map pick. Again, there's a lot of risk I think involved in this kind of a series for me.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a kind of hard task if you're in the eMasters camp to look at this big behemoth in front of you and go, okay, what's our plan of attack? What's our strategy to come into this one and try and steal one away? But in any case, I think we are going to be hopping into the game in any moment, so you don't have to hear us waffling on. There we go.
We're just now running out of content as well.
Yeah.
So perfect timing to get into our second match of the day. Our semi-final game between Coalesce and eMasters. We'll do our best as well to bring you the scores as well on the doors from the Raptors versus Viperio matchup. Yep. And again, because both of those games are going to be important for the upper finals, which come on a little bit later on today. So, Coalesce on CT start. Shine, of course, already taking contact out towards the K position. Doc sent flying as the Zuwu goes down to Husky. It's a 5-on-3 scenario. eMasters on the bomb site will get the bomb plant here.
Absolutely good position here for eMasters moving into this post-plant situation. I'm surprised that no real damage was converged through the smoke there, but in any case, Kristen will fall in the back lines, and, well, this is looking like an easy victory for eMasters, but here's Shine opening the coffers. There's a couple more players to find, but look at this passive setup. eMasters set up so well, and there's no real hope for them to steal this one away. Just Shine left alive, gets another kill, but at this point, it's just stat padding.
Yeah, 1-on-3 for the man, and he's an overall ace to try and make this clutch happen, and it's just not really going to happen at this stage. No kits on him. He's taking some heads, so credit to him in that sort of sense, but too far ticked. Got to get away, save for Kevlar. Give us an opening pistol round to the eMasters, who will take control. Very fast rush into the B site. Coalesce just caught with their pants down.
Yeah, absolutely. Really strong start from eMasters. I really like the play to push through Jaguar there and take control from that avenue. You know, you're keeping those close range engagements. You have the opportunity for trades, even though there's kind of tight choke points, I should say. But yeah, really well structured in the post plant as well. So good start for eMasters. This is the kind of thing that we wanted to see from them as well.
Opening stuff. Got the Khalils out of standard. The 1 AK as well for Emi. Coalesce in the M4, the MP9s, the 5.7s and what have you, all the regular set of weapons and the force by bases for Coalesce, as you would expect here in the second round of the game. Taking the mid control for Kristen. Dexter with the opening frag on Shine. Gets that pick. Docs with a responsive 4-on-4. Kristen so close to contact. Moshi's not quite ready for it, but still reacts with a quick, decent headshot and an advantage now for the T side.
Yeah, eMasters really good protocols there. Just taking those initial fights, taking a bit of space and being wary of that mid lurk coming through as well. So eMasters set up perfectly to take this one away. Coalesce, they're going to have to pull something miraculous off to pull a comeback in this situation. Docs, though, with the M4 is set up fairly well. And there you go. He will have another kill coming into this one. Moshi takes the place of Emi, but there's no one left to face. In fact, this delay of game is going to make Coalesce rethink their strategy, their repositioning, and it's definitely not the correct move. Azuwu will be able to call this one in. Oh, is taken out straight away and kind of needed that kill to have a better chance into this one. Bomb will be planted and eMasters set up the game well in this post.
That's upsetting for Docs. He got real close to landing that kill on Moshi, but not actually to find the kill itself. Just damage being done past the smoke. He won't even be aware of how much damage was done in that case, so 3v2 for all I know could all be on 100 HP here for the eMasters, so Coalesce just better to back off, holding on to that M4 save yet again. It will be 2-0 on the start for the eMasters. All down to that one call. You talked about the rotation away from Docs, leaving Azuwu the only player with that 5.7, just overwhelmed immediately on Mr. Hoy's Mat 10 headshot. It's not too shocking to see this round go down the drain here for the Coalesce side. Again, it was a force invest versus the full-on buy for the eMasters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even so, like, you know, just think about how that stack could have worked out. That M4 placed properly, it could have been so impactful for Docs.
Yeah, I was a bit questioning into that play. You know, when you've got a weaker situation in terms of manpower and the buy, you really need to be going for some sort of a stack. Sure, you can have one person watching the back lines or whatnot, but you really need to be kind of converging together. If they go to the other site, sure, you give it up, but that's kind of how you get those best odds for those situations. Unfortunate there for Coalesce, they are down, and they're going to reinforce a little bit behind this M4, but really this is looking like it should be an eMasters round. Interesting to see how they're going to set this one up, though, and they're not actually going to go for a group to kind of execute that you might expect for this sort of situation, just trying to perhaps find out where that M4 is and, well, eliminate it.
About to find out now as Docs fires away against Mr. Hoy. Falls back into the K position, and meanwhile a stack involved towards that A player. I guess the hope here for Coalesce is to show presence on one side, force them back into the stronger elements of this force-up stack. Lacking in the upgrades on the CT side, they're playing with a numbers game alone. Now that M4's fallen, the round should go with it. A bit too overly aggressive there for Docs. eMasters still take their time with this. The bomb's not on anybody's back, so they've got to take some moments to go ahead and pick that up and commit it to the bomb site itself. But as soon as they face resistance out here towards Donut, it should just be a full commit to the B play.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that conditioning there from Docs to go for the early play. Sure, it looks a bit silly, but it's now kind of, well, it was prompting eMasters to head over towards A. Of course, you can see Mr. Hoy, well, he's probably hoping to pick up some kills and pump some money with that Mac 10, but the rest of the team are just going to walk their way onto an open B site, and that should be an easy 3-0 for eMasters. Coalesce, no real opportunity to upgrade other than the few SMGs, and, well, it's not been the hottest start for them.
Money's not been tight at all, so Coalesce look towards the gun buy in the next round more so than anything else, especially with the last couple of kills as well, to ensure that the AKs do not drop down on the T-side line, make sure they don't get anything as in for the next round either for the Coalesce camp. So guns should return the AWP, the M4s are in play. Shine's got it out for the CT side. Mr. Hoy, not so much the same here for the eMasters. He did have no gun for a moment. He was considering the buy-up, potentially dropping it over, but let's go with the AKs across 3. The Galil's still in for Emmy as the bonus weapon. Similar story for Husky's M4. eMasters into the lane control. So pressed by incendiaries from both sides of the CT half.
Yeah, interesting read from eMasters. They're straight away grouping towards B. It's an early hit, straight away eliminating Shine from his angles, and well, that quick entry will help to shut things down. eMasters, really good game plan coming into this one. Need a lock in that bomb plant, but look at this. Resurgent from Coalesce trying to get the advantage through the smoke, but not going to be there. Kristen helping out a bit, but this is not looking good. Azuru falling in the back lines as well isn't going to help things, and well, it's all just falling apart, Jay.
Leaf left alone on the 1-on-4. He'll try his best to hold his nerve, hold some sort of exits. And he's got a kit and a smoke, so in theory there's a ninja available for him if he can get onto the bomb site, but just so much in the way between him and the bomb itself. eMasters swarming, crawling all over here. Smoke down, allow Dexter to start peeking forward. Does lose his life for it, so free AK for Leaf in this case, but time's a ticking. Teaser's still trying to fight him. And ultimately, he should try to look for the exit position back towards spawn. In fact, even Emmy's covering it off. AWP in Husky's hands. Recovered for the eMaster side as they do go to 4. Leaf, however, in danger. I don't think he realises this. Emmy around that corner. Ooh, goes down. Leaf on 1 point of HP. Oh, no. Maintaining the AK only just, but eMasters, a hell of a hunt and a hell of a fourth.
Yeah, interesting point there as well. Husky died with the AWP, not going to be too consequential, but look at this economy situation now. We're in this weird force buy kind of element for Coalesce. They have built up that last bonus, but moving forward, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to approach this kind of a situation as well. eMasters, on the other hand, they're looking pretty good to start this one out. Not really a kind of start that you'd expect on the T side, but you'd always be happy to welcome it. I was expecting Husky to actually get that entry. Either way, there's a double entry from Emmy, taking down 2 players in Cave, and suddenly Shine stuck on an island over towards this B site. I don't know if he can do anything about this situation, just being tagged down and is eliminated. Leaf, the final player left alive, was able to retain it from the last round. Not going to quite do anything in this one though.
Yeah, best thing you can do right here is run back to spawn again and try save. Coalesce, as you mentioned, the sort of weird half-buy situation with SMGs, upgrade pistols, what have you. So we'll have, again, sort of the basis to build off of, and the economy might be awkward for now, but in this next round it will lead to a buy. The AK is certainly going to aid in bolstering the economy state with the extra firepower as well for Coalesce. eMasters getting to the 5th on the board, and my worries have certainly started to dwindle here. My concern about Coalesce snowballing a CT half sort of seem to be a little bit irrelevant at this moment. eMasters are just the ones in full control.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is the hot start that I was talking about coming into this one. You know, Emmy has been a little bit cheeky with it in certain situations, but Dexter's popping off, Husky even playing pretty well. So, yeah, good to see that eMasters have this strong start. I'm just hoping to see what the reaction is from Coalesce, because you know it's coming. You know they're going to try different things. Will anything work? And it's, again, Shine with the AWP, maybe a couple of openings that you can get in middle, perhaps going for that B pick. We'll have to wait and see how they approach this one. I'm just, yeah, really kind of hesitant to see what comes from Coalesce.
AWP's in on Shine and Dexter. Azuru going to be the first contact against Emmy out towards the cheater position. Incendiaries and Molotovs back and forth. Man holds back at the cave entrance, the HE in his hands, but unawares of where to put it. eMasters making their way into the bomb site already. Slow walks up, uncovered by the M4 in the back. Doctors get one, forcing Azuru to make a move back, but Moshi's caught both those players. Smoke down at short will cover off. Leaf has been seen at the shoulder bay. Bomb will cross the site, will get planted. Molly's in the way to stop the rotations back at the long positions, and Dexter even lands the AWP. Picked off 4-on-2 now for eMasters. For Coalesce, just back off to save for another round. eMasters beating them into submission now.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that I did not expect to say coming into this one is that eMasters are actually targeting Azuru. He's 0-6 right now, not the hottest start, and this is the star player for Coalesce. If he's not being productive, then you can't really expect the rest of the squad to do too much about it. Shine even eliminated with the AWP, and well, it's just going from bad to worse for Coalesce. This is 6 rounds for eMasters, and they're looking to put on so much more of a clinic.
6-0, 6 in a row. This is stellar stuff from this T side, and just the knowledge that this is a T half of such a CT-sided based map. It's nothing but encouragement right now for the eMasters, and nothing but despair for Coalesce. You talk about when we're going to see that experimental nature, we're going to see that change up over on the Coalesce side, and it's going to have to come soon because it's starting to get a little bit out of control on the opposite end of the board. eMasters be up against the hero or buy with the save them for a little bit of a high roller there on the CT side, passing off that gun to Shine. Still kind of a half invest, so they have money to buy back into the next round, but again, they need to try and make some impact happen, at least to do some damage to try and whittle down the economy state for eMasters, which will not be punished in the next round immediately. Stack heavy towards that B site, mid control taken, the walk out to the A site, just going to give everything over to the eMasters here.
Yeah, you know, I don't hate this position from Coalesce. You know, you kind of half bought into it. You're going to be buying into the next regardless. So, not the strongest start, but in any case, you know, honestly, I don't know if Coalesce should even go for this in this situation. I know they'll be buying regardless. There's an entry from Shine, but yeah, look, the site's just locked off. There's even this lurk from Emmy that could be so impactful, taking out the AWP, or takes down the rifle. Not going to quite catch the AWP, and the big green should be retained into the next, but eMasters, they are looking absolutely formidable. The read, even the reaction to go straight for that A play when they've been pressuring that cave and Jaguar area so hard into the first, 4 or 5 rounds of the half. It's just such good calling, and I've got to give all the commendations to eMaster right now. Shine, though, actually pulling off 4 kills out of nowhere. It's going to be just kind of stat padding, building the morale, I guess, moving forward, because there's just no real effect into the overall dynamic of the game.
Well, it will hamper the economy to a certain extent because 4 players will have to reinvest, so you can start to see the cracks beginning to show in the economy state. It's not on reset positions just yet, but Mr. Hoy on $200, never going to be an encouragement position. Of course, they'll get the other weapons out, so there'll be a next buy in the next round, but the loss bonus being crippled, Mr. Hoy having to be accounted for in the next buy-up means that Coalesce could find reset in 2. They, of course, have to win those 2, and that's the big concern. That's the first hurdle that Coalesce have yet to really springboard past, winning a round. It's 7-0 for the eMasters, and Coalesce posting their AWP up a Shine out towards the B site, central contact, waiting for someone to move from ramp. Molotov's in for Azuru. We're going to try to take a fight against Mr. Hoy. Sprays back and forth, doing a lot more damage to Docs than they're doing to the T side here. Mr. Hoy will stick around. Azuru is going to have to slowly walk out of the way, get back into cave.
Yeah, I love that play, retaking Jaguar on a timing, and just so fortunate not to lose a player. Husky lurking out, won't get anything, but it's Husky, you know he's going to be lurking. You're not really going to... In fact, the counter reaction is that Kristen wanting to rotate off, try and reinforce that B site, and eMasters, what's the reaction here? You've taken a man down, you don't really have the map control that you were going for in this kind of a situation. Is it just that straight exec onto the B site?
It might well be here. They've got the majority of their players out on this side of the map. Mr. Hoy is setting up smokes towards long. Teammates setting up onto short, I do believe. Covering off that backstab in case they do make their way in from Cheetah. But they cancel with a smoke out towards mid, a counter smoke of the CT side. 40 seconds for eMasters to act here.
Oh, there you go. Just as you mentioned, the time execute comes through. Time's ticking down, and this counter utility from Coalesce is working really well. But look at this rotation. eMasters trying to sell the fake. Leaf has such a big job, and oh, that team kill comes through, but nothing really much more. Sight is lost. I don't know if eMasters are going to be aware of this lurk, though. Dexter taking space, trying to get an initial frag, and nothing to be found. So eMasters backs up against the wall, need to try and pull anything.
Oh,
Mr.
no.
Hoy spotted out. He's not long for this world. Dexter, though, trying to hold down the lines and nothing else to be done. Look at this decimation. Coalesce on the verge of securing their first round in such a dominant fashion. Can they lock it in? They need to stick it. There we go. It is being locked in by Zuru, but Dexter rotating in, hitting shots, and he's got a couple more to find. Being tapped again. Kristen trying to save his teammate, but Shine! Oh, he's run out of time. eMasters has stolen it away, and it's all off the back of Dexter's big green. So impactful, so great in that kind of a situation. eMasters, how do they get away with that?
Through boy genius himself, Dexter, what a triple, and what a hold from him outside of Donut. The information given up to eMasters was absolutely pivotal. That one attempt at the kill from the player that backstab towards main, caught damage onto Mr. Hoy. From there, he held timing, and Dexter just backed off. The kill could not get found. It was peak after peak with backup from the AK that might have conceded his life, but ultimately gave eMasters the round. What a hold from them. And a tactical's coming in for Coalesce, because that was their best chance. That was a 4-on-2. A 4-on-3 retake turning into a 4-on-2, and they still conceded it. They have to make a significant change to their game plan here, because right now nothing is working.
Yeah, that is an absolutely tilting round. I'm happy that Coalesce recalled that pause in there, you know, just allowing the players to reset, trying to stall this momentum that eMasters have built up, but having 8 rounds on the T side of Ancient, that's already an incredible kind of scoreline to have moving forward. If they can get anything more out of this, that's just a bonus. Again, Coalesce up with the rifles. Can they do anything at this point? Because eMasters really are starting to run away with things. Jaguar control again, and Azuru just being targeted. Emi, how's he getting away with this time and time again? eMasters performing so well. Shine been the only hope shining for Coalesce so far. Can the rest of the team join him? There's a resurgence, help from in the back lines. Look at this lurk though coming in. It's just Husky left alone, 1 versus 3. Surely they secure this one.
Don't curse it, mate. No, Kristen rather is going to ensure that does not happen. Triple up for him in this one, and finally Coalesce claim an opening. They claim their first round. This one has been a long time coming, and now we can reassess the economy game for eMasters, because Coalesce have gotten away with a lot of casualties over the course of the last few rounds. So down away from the AWP on the T side of Galil instead for Mr. Hoy. Coalesce's loss bonus will take a step back, and now eMasters will be on the verge of that reset. Again, I said it could have been done within 2. This is the first one found. Will the second one follow suit?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have to wait to see how it transpires. Shine holding this angle. Ooh, Mashi playing with fire, gets tagged up, and well, that's going to trigger it. Shine can't do anything more. Husky rips him out of the server. Azuru stuck on an island, but Dox, he has the task at hand, getting 2, Dexter with 2 of his own, and this is a weird situation. Kristen in the rotation, that's a good spot, and Kristen even closes it out, so nice play in the end from Coalesce, and that's kind of what more we were expecting coming into things. It's just a shame that it's at the point where it's 8-2.
Well, look, they're clawing a little window back into the game, so you know, silver linings, positivity a little bit in for Coalesce here. eMasters might be in a stellar lead, but this should be a 3rd round for the CT side, because look at the buyback here for the Ts. Like, it's going to be upgrade pistols a half invest. Even with the bomb plum bonus, it's not enough to go for a definitive buy. Coalesce back in the game for all intents and purposes, and they'll try and get back into the mid control as well. They're being stormed down by Dexter, leading the charge in with the massive T-side forces. Smokes in the way for Leaf, who's trying to defend himself against the 3 players that are set up. Emi out towards the candles position. He's going to hear those rotates, call it in for his teammates, start setting on that backstab, and they're going to hold fire until this Tech 9 can strike, and Azuru can take the frag back to trade.
Absolutely, eMasters, really good openings here, and they haven't opened that to play with, but look at this re-aggression from Coalesce, trying to take the advantage back. Azuru, big job here to hold off these players, and they're not even expecting it. Moshi, though, having a lovely shot with the P250, and this is a weird 2 versus 2. Surely they don't expect Dexter in this situation. Doesn't matter. Shine reads into it, and Dox will even the keel. Moshi now hit a good shot earlier. Will Dox consider this? Look at the timing, Moshi. He has it all to play for. Open playing field, but Dox reads into it. Look at that play. Locking in that 3rd round, and that's an impactful moment from that man right there.
High impact from eMasters, though. 2 back-to-back bomb plants and 4 players down on the Coalesce side. The money started to build up for the CT forces, but it's expensive to keep reinvesting like this. The AWPs will come out. Let's have a look at the money state after the buy. It doesn't look to be all that amazing. $1,900 a loss bonus.
I need to ask you, what kind of scoreline are you looking for Coalesce to be like, okay, we're happy enough, this is recovered?
7, being honest.
Has to be 7.
It's such a CT-sided map that you have to look at those kind of situations and just be understanding that eMasters could well run away with it in the second half. It is their pick, and you would expect that they know how to counteract what Coalesce are doing. As you mentioned, lack of preparation might be involved for the Coalesce side on a map like this. But of course, it's easier said than done at this stage. Orp in, leaning forward, a Dexter looking out towards the A site, trying to check the back line, trying to check the CT spawn, seeing nothing at all. Coalesce, Kristen leaning forward, caught off by Dexter's flick. What a shot!
Absolutely. Nice opener there from Dexter, and that will help things moving forward. They're always going to have gaps in the CT side now. You have to take risks. You have to take liberties to steal this one back. Mr. Hoy, though, this is an interesting piece. Got the double.
Lovely.
He's actually going to take the first. Azu there for the trade, but kind of expecting a little bit more production from the CT side in that situation. Husky taking liberties, and this is exactly a result of Dexter's initial opening. How much more can he get from this sort of a position? Trying to sell the fake so the rest of the team can move over towards B. And there you go. Is taken down eventually. How fast can Coalesce react? Azu spotting out the rest of the team, and now the rotations come in.
Bomb will go down for this one. Back behind the totem. Shine has caught his backup in Dexter, though. Heard that tap once. Second one will finally hold the stick over the diffuse leaf. Inbound from the back. Shine incoming from the front. Well, she has no info on either of these two individuals who are the aggressor ahead of the smoke he just put up there. Is the AWPer expecting it? He may well be. Behind the box, swing, seen. Adjustment to the shoulder, taps forward. 4 bullets in the mag, and he can't hold on to the taps of Leaf. Shots connecting for the M4 instead as Coalesce continue the hype train, continue the streak. 4 in a row to an 8-4 score overall for the eMasters. AWP saved in the Shine. Money still flowing in for the Tees because they're still getting bomb planted here. This will be another buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we are talking about this streak from Coalesce, but it's not really been too dominant. You know, you've seen it come down to these clutches, these 1 versus 1s, 1 versus 2s, and it's not a recipe for consistent success, should we say. Look at this push from middle, though. eMasters keeping the pressure on it. Leaf can't even get to Donut. He's stuck in a corner, and he gets a kill. But how much more can he get? 2, in fact. Nice production from him. English. Reinsurgence from Azuru and Kristen will help things out, and now it's just Husky to recover the situation. Recover me, Jay.
I'd be glad to do so. Yeah, no, that just fell apart so quick for the eMasters. Coalesce just came in, guns are blazing, both sides to challenge that mid control, but they put 4 players in and got absolutely nothing. Perfectly timed utility there from the Coalesce side, and eMasters couldn't capitalise upon the kills. Even Leaf being pushed into that corner out towards Pit. Left with really no breathing room, but still he fought out of that corner and fought well to wreck whatever he could on the eMasters side. Found 2 kills for it. Bomb control and all to the CT side. The crossfire is locked. The man of Husky should now be surrounded, and I think they have an idea of exactly where he is as well.
Yeah, I think the name of the game here for Coalesce is to just keep players alive. You know, it's okay for Husky to save in this kind of a situation. Sure, you'd like to take the rifle out of your hands, but it's so much more important to preserve the CT side economy, and the fact that they've got him boxed in, 3 players pretty much sat on top of the bomb, it's just kind of reinforcing that kind of a point. Really just depends on if Husky can get a kill or 2, then that will really pressure the CT economy. But he's playing safe, he's playing slow, just trying to see if there's any mistakes made by Coalesce.
So far, so little. Holding around that main position, the CT is starting to close in their pincers against the man. Try taking down half the time if possible. Has been seen by Kristen. Fire came back from the 1 player against the CT side, so they didn't want to risk losing another player there for the Coalesce camp. All 5 alive for 5 rounds on the board of the CT side. eMasters, no bomb plant this time, so no real investment. It's a half buy to going around 15 with all the guns.
Absolutely. Coalesce playing well, coming back into things, and definitely making a match of this one. eMasters, though, they're going to continue the pressure. They've been so content to, you know, just group up together with those pistols and push in one place. There we go. So much pressure on Zuru and trying to exploit him again. Emmy's been on the top of that fight every single time, it seems like, and he's going to continue to get away with things.
It's continuing to be an absolute entry. Working so well for the eMasters here, even with these pistols out with the Tech 9s on a half buy. Rifles overwhelmed, the Zuru down, one of the stars we talked about in the Coalesce side, who's been a little bit quiet in this game, only 5 kills deep for him. And another entry frag lost out to the eMasters side, who still want to focus on this B play here. All 4 of these players are still stacked up in a cave, now making their way in. Shine, receiving the smokes coming down towards the short control. He's not going to get blinded off by that. He's only going to long, but Moshi will sacrifice himself to get the shot to ring out, force Shine back, get the bomb on the site, and the plant will come down.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good production from eMasters to get this much space with the pistols, and good use of utility as well. Coalesce perhaps given a bit too much space, a bit too much room to breathe, and we'll see if it comes back to haunt them. Post plant coming in, the retake, 4 versus 4, and really good utility usage. Leaf will get a kill though, and that should spur things forward a little bit more. Bomb ticking down to half, so Coalesce here get a move on, and look at that swing from Mr. Hoy. Stays alive just for a bit longer to help his teammates out. There's the smoke off for Cave, and well, this is looking like a trend towards Coalesce, but the impact from the pistols continuing. Emmy! Oh! Absolute decimation, and that's 9 for eMasters.
A quadra for Emi. And what a round for the eMasters to steal. Tech9's brought up on the half invest. They were looking to this round for the buy above all else. And they'll get a buy, of course they will. The bomb plant assured that the round solidifies it, and Coalesce down once again, potentially to lose a 10-5 on the CT side. Shine trying to stop that as best he can. His AWP posted in the cave, going to stick around, but burn a 47 HP. Not the start that Coalesce wanted here.
Yeah, absolutely. Coalesce, things really haven't been working out for them. Azuru being targeted, and I think that trend is going to continue. Will Emi pick up another kill onto him? It will be forced back, rather, by the Molotov. And Shine, he really has been the shining star for Coalesce, you know, far and away the best player for them so far. But I think in these kind of tough situations, he's been a little bit hit or miss. You know, there's only a limited amount of impact you can have with the AWP since the 5-round nerf, and so we'll have to see if he can have anything else to say in this kind of a situation. But look at this situation. eMasters forcing Coalesce into uncomfortable positions, but look at this. Kristen, he's been a man known to shine in these kind of tough, high-pressure situations. A bit of a diamond.
He's found his kill to start things off. Mr. Hoyt is down. Leaf is caught off Emi. Not quite ready for the player to be in a pit, so lurking quietly now. 3 players remain on the eMasters side, and they'll make their way into the A site. Azuru looking for Husky, does not see him above that smoke. You can barely spot his head. Azuru's got nothing. Finally sees the man, but Husky gets the headshot. Krisen forced to trade it back, follows suit as well. Moshi now in the clutch of his own with 1 pick to his name, 25 seconds to try and get the other 3. The bomb is on his back. The smoke's in at Donut. There's so much work to do and so little time to do it in.
Absolutely, time a pretty big factor in this situation, but he has a little bit to work with, trying to take an advantage, and Shine is going to take that every day of the week. 6-9 at the end of the half. Coalesce, not the strongest of starts, but they definitely came back into things.
They definitely did, but you've got to think about the overall scoreline itself. That's 3 rounds advantage for the T side line, and that's the key concern for me. That's the one thing I look at and say, okay, ooh, that's where Ancient could really fall apart for Coalesce. They're going to have to put in the hard yard to try and bring this back. 3 rounds to make up. It could be done with a pistol win, but eMasters will resist from the rifles onwards at that particular stage, and even then they probably could well hold the defensive to win the pistol out and out here. USP's set, the Glocks held, the taps of Emi out towards the Candles position. They're baiting 3 individuals of Coalesce, tapped up once. Azuru first to fall. Emi backs away, looks for Docs next, struggles with the headshot, does do some damage, seeing the bomb as well. Rotations in from Dexter, sees his back up and gets that head, can't flip towards Kristen. It's a 3 versus 3.
3 versus 3 indeed. Bomb being stuck, and Husky has an opportunity to take down Shine. I don't know how he's had that much space, but it should be punished here. Runs out of ammunition. Mr. Hoy in the back lines helps things out. 2 versus 2, and eMasters, no relentless push. It's going to come through. Yeah, just quick cleanup from Coalesce. Really expecting that. I don't know. eMasters, they had more of an opportunity to go for a different kind of play there. I feel like that was a bit of an individual kind of decision-making mistake.
Quite possibly could have been. A couple of missed shots here and there for the eMasters side. The defensive lacking the technical ability there. The retake, also a similar story. So pistol lost to Coalesce. Back in the game, perhaps. The Deagles, the 5-7s in. The HG sent down towards the edge of the cheater angle. Doing damage towards Docs here. 49 HP for the man. The starting's working with eMasters once again. It seems like Cheater's always been a back and forth sort of trade of blows from the damage, especially in that first half. A similar story for the second, but the eMasters are the ones in control. Yeah,
absolutely. This kind of Jaguar cheater area is almost as important as drop was in Cobblestone. If you cast your eyes back to those days, you know, it's one of the most critical kind of pivot positions on the map. If you can take this control as the T side, then the map kind of opens up for you. You can't really afford to take too much middle control on the CT side. But look at this. Just as the hit comes through, eMasters, they're pushing it through the back lines. There's an opportunity where they could catch Coalesce off guard, and indeed they do. Initial frags will go back and forth. Azuru not going to consider it and gets taken down. Leaf trying to calm the tides, but this is running out of control. Oh, eMasters not aware of the situation. Leaf, 5 HP and a dream. He got the USP, and Moshi steals it away. How have eMasters gotten away with another kind of a round where they had no hope in hell? That push was so incredulous in middle.
Steal and a half there for the eMasters. Upgrade pistols, rocking Coalesce's world and immediately putting them back on the back foot. 10-7. Oh dear, oh dear. That's coming at the worst moment ever, because I think it was something you were saying yesterday, right? The second round after the pistols, usually the more important one of the two, because the loss bonus is completely crippled for Coalesce. No bomb plant came in, they didn't even get close to the site. And we're back to a 3-round deficit, looking to grow for the eMasters. This is exactly what I feared at the turn of the half. The CT side that will just snowball, and Coalesce could get locked out of Ancient.
Well, you know, Coalesce saying anything you can do, I can do better. At least they're going to give an attempt at it. Trying to stack up towards this B site, and they have a little bit of space to work with over towards Jaguar, making their presence known now with that Molotov. Going to see how eMasters are trying to approach the situation. They're happy to sit back, just expend this utility, make sure that Coalesce aren't going to get away with anything cheeky, and try and set up for success with these MP9s. But Coalesce, I'm really kind of wondering where these bits of utility come in, because that's going to be the real differentiating factor for me. There you go. Execute starts to come in. The middle fight not going to be advantageous, but Mr. Ahoy pushing through, and suddenly Coalesce have a little bit of opening into B, but just as it opens, the door is shut in their faces.
Yeah, Shine left alone in the 1-on-3 situation. A good effort there to try to get him from Cave, but ultimately eMasters had the better firepower, so all the kills came in appropriate. The bomb's now been dropped to Shine. Then I hope for a similarly decent shot back. 11-7 for the eMasters.
Jubilations from the Lanhorn. Someone's done something.
So I'm not sure if that's this game on delay or the other semi-final. Of course,
true.
We are still waiting for like an update on the scoreline in the Vipero matchup, so I'm hoping that we get something like that very soon. But again, we'll keep you up to date with all that action as it unfolds and as we know what's going on. Either way, harsh eco for Coalesce, and they're going to have to put in some serious work to try and pull this back off. eMasters. I mean, it's an even worse buy for Coalesce than it was an eMasters' steal.
Yeah, absolutely. Dexter will open things up. Good nade. Actually, not a good nade. That's going to be team damage onto Mr. Hoy for all intents and purposes. Can the Glocks do anything? Take a bit of space over towards Cheetah, and they might be able to catch Mr. Hoy off guard, although there's no successful push coming through. There you go. Dinner bell has been rung. Mr. Hoy trying to farm up those eco frags, build up some money. Moshi will help things out, and that's a spray control that's well worth its money. Locks it in. That's 12 rounds for eMasters, and well, I think things are well and truly starting to run out of control, starting to spiral out of control. Coalesce back on the rifles. Can they do anything on this T side?
Well, 5 to make up. It's going to have to start here for Coalesce, most certainly. Guns are in for the T side line. Incendiaries, HGs, flashes in from Emmy. Got backup there of Dexter. And 2 players swinging with the Zulu and Dox. Zulu caught. Dox does not know where to aim, adjusting awkwardly, but getting neither player. Not a lot of damage on either one of them. Emmy, SMG up close here. Dox to the smoke, does catch the player off. So that's a 4-on-4.
Really good opening from Coalesce. Zuru being targeted again. Man can't catch a break, Jay.
I mean, look, if you wear down the star player, if you just deny an opportunity for Coalesce's highlight man to do much damage here, then suddenly you are looking at a massive crutch taken away from your lineup. This entirely works out as a decent strategy for the eMasters. Leaf has now seen a lot of information. They must realise that B's pretty empty, so they'll go for the commit. They'll get that bomb plant here. Yeah,
I don't know how hard eMasters is going to commit behind this. They've got money to work with, and they're going to have some upgraded rifles, but Coalesce, they've set up pretty well for this kind of a situation. Shine!
Oh, okay.
Giving space just when he needed to, and that's going to be a tough situation. Straight through eMasters, relentless with the push again. So committed, and just Dexter in this 1 versus 2. I don't think he's going to consider this, though.
He's on, putting some utility down, not wary of the player in the back, tapping it once, and Kristen comes up with the kill. Coalesce win the 8th. All-important one at that, 12-8 now. eMasters still holding a significant lead, but have a buyback to return against the Coalesce side, so they'll invest the AWP. The M4's coming back to return. Again, Coalesce have a lot of breathing room to make up here, so that round is important to them. Economy game still going to be a little bit awkward for them, however. The damage being done by eMasters in that previous round. Here's the bomb plant to important round wins, probably more so, and Dox wins the fight against Mr. Hoy, this time out towards Cheetah. Man down, orb shot missing for Dexter. He's forced to fall back, he's not even going to get that far. Leaf with the kill, Husky alone towards the A site, 4 off, and does get a pick back to return. A trade decent, but a follow suit from Izulu.
Absolutely, Coalesce just reacting really well off that initial pick, and well, you can see the reaction. eMasters, they're going to have to concede this one, and this was one of those swing rounds that we talk about so often in these games. You know, look at the economic situation. Neither team's too healthy. Coalesce definitely having a window of opportunity here to kind of even the playing field at the top of the scoreboard.
Safe call in from the eMasters now, because their own economy state is not quite ideal. So one of the weapons, the M4's on 2. Knife to the border, Coalesce. Shine's about to receive Emmy though. Does land that shot to return, so even more economical deficit being applied to the CT side. A 9th on the board of Coalesce. This map is not done yet, despite how close eMasters have gotten to really solidifying their confidence over the course of this second half especially, and even in the first half it looked absolutely lights out. The snowball has been stopped for the time being. Will it continue to roll down the hill? Will it continue to send Coalesce out of this first map? Probably not in round 22. There seems to be a harsh eco around the M4.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you imagine what the world would be like if we had the CS economy? You know, you're limited to 16 grand.
Sod that, are you joking?
It would even the playing field. You wouldn't get any more like billionaires or anything like that, right?
Yeah, but then I remain poor.
Hey, look at you, Mr. Moneybags, getting more than 16 grand in your bank account.
It's in my ISAs actually, so you know.
Okay.
Put my money to work. That's how I roll. See, that's what you should do, right? You should be able to take the option whether or not you turn your $800 in a pistol round put it in an ISA account.
Oh yeah.
Counter-Strike, and it's like just pray that you like a 1 in 10 chance that it just crashes and you lose all your money.
Yeah. By the time you get to round 20, you can just get full orbs for the rest of the game.
Exactly. Like auto snipers all day.
Yeah.
There you go. Financial advice. If there's any Valve devs watching this, and I hope to God you're not, don't do that, please. let's not mess with economy balance anymore than we already have. But eco for eMasters dealt with pretty effectively by Coalesce. Didn't waste any time getting rid of the pistol player on the B site. Kill found, bomb down. 10 to the border, Coalesce. And 1 rifle saved in for Moshi, so we have a little bit of a better basis to play from. He can drop that AWP if he wants to. Might be a consideration to make here for the eMasters, and indeed it will be passed off to Dexter. So, full guns back into the rifle round to try and sustain. eMasters only up by 2 now. Coalesce again trying to claw their way back into this match.
Yeah, absolutely. They've made a bit of a resurgence coming forward. This is a perfect opportunity to take the lead over Kristen. That's an audacious peak, and he's going to be punished for it. Emmy taking the liberty to close that one in. Leaf trying to return the favour, and Azu being targeted again. Dexter having so much production with this AWP on both sides of the map. Been such a strong player. Shine, can he do anything more? Can he come into things and even the playing field? 5 versus 3 though at the middle of the middle of the round, I should say.
2-man advantage, Leaf's almost dead. A lot of things going the way of eMasters here, and it will continue to be the case as Dexter finds Shine next. Barely a lick of damage done to eMasters and all. Only missed a Holly down by 1 point of health. Moshi, nades turned away from, sent back towards the T-side line. And they'll fall back away from the lane, try and find a different angle of attack for the Coalesce side. Either way, a 2-on-5. This seems like it's impossible to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think damage might be the name of the game at this point. Trying to take any guns out of the hands of the CT side. If you can get maybe a kill or 2, that will continue to pressure. Make sure that eMasters won't have all the bells and whistles or the utility.
What?
Oh, no. Come on, Ducks. You can't be doing that, my friend.
No.
You know what? Emmy has been the most fortunate man on Ancient.
I know. Like
It's just, you should buy a lottery ticket or something. Oh, what is going on?
Yeah, that's going to sting a little bit. Yeah, the perfect timing is Emmy and all. You push round back as he starts pushing in to look out the main entrance, check that you haven't made his way around. You start to think, maybe there is a player that's repositioning. Maybe you saw him, I don't know. But either way, he had the jump on him, he had the spray first, and still Emmy won the fight. It's just like, ugh. For Coalesce, it's as a whole, it's coming in the worst moment possible because eMasters are back on track, 13-10. 3 more to go to the win, 3 to make up for the T side. Rebuy to return. Lost bonus. Still not fully defined here for Coalesce. eMasters. Even 2 AKs to hold into this next round here. Azuru and Kristen taking a ton of damage. They work their way up into the B site. Plant should be secured. The retake might be on very early, but 5-on-5 with a massive HP advantage for eMasters. Mr. Hoy comes up with the kill. Emmy knows there's a player out there towards the back lanes. Shine does get Hoy back to return, so it's 4-on-4 for now.
Yeah, this is looking like a save. You know, eMasters want nothing to do with this. The utility is just locked off the site completely, and yeah, you can see players trying to fall back, trying to take stock of the situation. Husky, though, taking liberties, and we've seen him do this kind of thing before. He's no stranger to a hero play. eMasters going to continue the pressure, and they might just be giving it up right now. Too much time's passed. And, well, Coalesce, they will secure an 11th. Really nice change of pace from Coalesce there. I like the read from their IGL. Yeah,
actually, it was a very good round, honestly, because I was saying, look, this is very awkward. 5-on-5, eMasters have loads of HP. Coalesce are so tanked on so many individuals, and they did exactly what you need to do in this situation. Don't fight fire with fire, fight it with smoke. Put the smokes down, put the incendiaries ahead of them, and force eMasters back and stall the time as much as possible. They stalled enough to ensure to the point where they weren't going to be able to do anything in the retake. It took too long. They fought back. They saved the weapon. But it does get another buyback in the next round for the eMasters, of course. So they can return fire here in round 25. But you've got to be aware of those Coalesce post plants because they have been powerful. They're an experienced team. Ooh. However, the damage done to Shine, 20 points of health to start things off.
Yeah, a lot of damage taken by Shine. You've seen him go for these kind of aggressive angles, but there's really not been anyone there to greet him other than Dexter with the counter rope, and it seems as though Dexter's had the upper hand in those engagements. Emmy, again, getting a fortunate engagement in middle, picking up 3 kills, and, well, this round's done, dusted.
Yep, it's
pack
over.
It up, go home. Emmy's just closed it.
He literally can't even say anything about it other than, yep, it's over. Good night, sweet princes. 3K sequence from Emmy, not wasting any time to remove Coalesce from the elbow angle. And Shine is alone in the 1-on-5 and in probably a save call at this point. 60 seconds to try and make it happen. If eMasters go hunting, he's a dead man walking. And Dexter slowly but surely wraps that corner. Should see the man. Indeed he does. There it is. 14-11. eMasters are the masters of Ancient, it seems.
Absolutely. Good play from Coalesce in the previous rounds, but eMasters and Emmy specifically just putting on a clinic in middle. I think, you know, Emmy playing as well as he is right now, he's kind of the wild card, the win condition almost for eMasters. If he's playing this good, it doesn't really matter about Dexter and the co, but, you know, everyone's popping off right now. Game Coalesce, quicker initiative, quicker default into this point. That might be symptomatic of Shine not having the orb, taking significant damage, 2 HP in a dream for that man. How do Coalesce react off this now?
Well, now they're the ones stalled out of the site. Now they're the ones behind the smokes and suppressed by the CT forces. Dexter just holding his nerve behind the cave position. The T-side players trying to prod forward. HE looks like it's on good position, but Shine's on the other side of the wall, so not a lot can be done. The AWP still watching, scoped up. Suppression held, but still no contact from Coalesce here.
Yeah, there you go. Coalesce making their presence known with utility, and then the noise running through cave. Ooh, here comes the hit, and eMasters are actually set up really well for this kind of thing, but look at
no!
Dexter, decimation with the big green, and the push from Moshi to lock it in. 2 players now left alive, but there's not really much of a hope in this one. Coalesce have just been rocked, but as I say that, the impact from the last 2 players. Shine, 2 HP, make it work! Ooh. Shine, how has he got away with that 3K? What a play from that man, and that's 12 for Coalesce. What is going on, Jay?
You are lucky to be alive, sir. Count your lucky stars this evening. That was silly, the transfer. He got 2 points of health. Oh my lord, Coalesce.
Think back as well, you know, that started with Shine getting tagged up 2 HP by Dexter. If he goes down there, there's no hope in health.
Exactly.
Oh.
Unbelievable. That is... yeah, tactical pause obviously got to come through at this point because that one really was down to the wire. And as you mentioned, after all that effort, Dexter's going to be so miffed. The tag on Shine, the collateral kill, everything working up to their favour, and eMasters still couldn't close it out. Coalesce still looking to resurge. The pause necessary to reset momentum and reset mentality, trying not to get tilted after a round like that. AWPs are in for both sides again. Money whittled down on either squad. This could be a massive swing round, and Shine is going to start it off to perfection, but Husky is not willing to take that lying down. He's inserted into main the same. Incendiary will drive them back, going to opt not for the kill. Go grab that AWP and fall away.
Yeah, good reaction from Husky to just try and calm things down, take stock of the situation and reposition. eMasters, they might be 14-12 up, but Coalesce have definitely had a resurgence coming into things. And that clutch by Shine might just spur them on, might give them the momentum to come back and even the score at the top of the map. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know if Emmy will be able to hear all this running around. I think Coalesce might have just played with the sound cues enough to commit 2 players over towards that side of the map, and so should be an easier kind of a task in towards B. But look at this play from eMasters, just leaving middle completely open.
The slow push in towards the lane position. They've got Moshi on the front of the site, got Mr. Hoy in the back. Smokes there, perfect timing. Again, they're going to suppress the Coalesce side. They're still setting up their execution itself, so in case it's a matter of timing, Coalesce about to make their move in. The smokes at the ready for Azul and Co. Another re-smoke down a little bit more deeper into the site itself this time. Moshi ahead of the game. The flashes of scent, the sprays are blinded, only doing so much damage. Mr. Hoy gets caught, but he does get Azul on the way back out. Moshi still playing around. A smoke gets a double. Kristen trades it back to a 2-on-2, but Moshi's done enough to bring it into a winnable scenario here for the eMasters. The bomb will go down. The AWP will fire away. Husky can't do much towards it. Nades will dish out some damage. Emmy's waiting behind the smoke itself. The retake is on for the eMasters.
Absolutely, Coalesce stuck in their little cubby holes, don't have any room to work with at all. Kristen, I don't know if he's been spotted going through that edge of the smoke, and well, he's taken out either way. Emmy having impact. Docs, though, returns a favour, and Husky with the AWP. Can he do anything? Docs playing with the time, playing with the position. I don't know if he spied him out. Seems to be aware of it now. Husky running him down, but the AWP not going to quite connect just yet. Running out of bullets, and Husky connects with the no-scope, and that's going to secure 15 for eMasters, trying to take over Ancient.
Map point for them on their own map pick. Husky getting up close and personal, wearing down the ammo of the last man. The AWP no-scope, risky but necessary at that kind of range, and it worked out for them. 3 map points to play with. Coalesce broken by, despite the bomb plant bonus, the damage consistently compounding from the eMasters, ensuring that they cannot get away with an economical advantage. So it's a Scout and a Galil as the main 2 weapons of Coalesce's buyback. This might be over here.
Yeah, I feel like we're ticking down to doomsday for Coalesce on Ancient. Dexter trying to creep around the edge of that smoke, and Tox, he didn't know it, but he was playing with fire in that situation. Emmy, he's going to come up with that. I'm sorry, I find it so funny how often Emmy has just come up on the upper hand against Azure on this matchup. 8-22. I feel so bad for Azure in this situation. Coalesce, not with the strongest of starts, with the weak buy, but have a little bit of space to work with, trying to take some liberties in towards Donut, and well, Ego is the push from Dexter. Oh, okay, uncharacteristic miss, I should say. Husky still on the site though, and I don't know if Coalesce are going to be aware of this kind of situation, trying to clear for it, but oh, he's just gone unawares. Husky playing with his food, and he's just taking them down. A wolf taking them down with the rest of his pack. Mr. Hui joining in, and Shine just a scout in hand. This is looking done.
Nades, flashes, all saucy till he's sent his way. Bomb is on his back at least, so he can rotate back, but you can already see the responsives in from Mr. Hoy out towards Elbow. You hear the rotations, the footsteps and all, getting out towards the window. Did he hear him? Maybe he might not have done. Okay. Scout needs the headshot though, turned away, checked upon by Mr. Hoy, and there it is. 16-12 eMasters will take down Coalesce on map 1, the map pick of the eMasters on Ancient. It was all in that T side for me though, Jambo. You know, you saw how well Coalesce were able to work with the CT bases to try and bring it back in the second half, but when we saw that 7-0, when we saw that 8-0 there from the eMasters, it really felt like it was over from that position, because that was ultimately the difference that Coalesce could never really bring back. Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, once you fall into that kind of deficit situation, it's always going to be an uphill battle. But eMasters starting off so strong, you know, they were just looking on fire from the start of the game, and they managed to carry it through to the end. Sure, Coalesce made it a little bit challenging. I don't think it's a disappointing performance from Coalesce, but I think perhaps Coalesce were kind of hoping to pick that one up. But I think that comes back to the veto, you know. eMasters coming up with this kind of surprise pick. It really has kind of spurred them on. And, well,
Vertigo, I think we know which way that one might be going. But yeah, eMasters have set themselves up perfectly to kind of move forward in this series.
Well, speaking of Vertigo, over in the other semi-final, we have our official result of map number 1. That was the Vertigo win for Vipero,
Yes.
actually. 1-0 up in that Pista 3 series. 16-5 is what that scoreline was. So definitely we picked the right semi-final very clearly in this case for Coalesce and eMasters. So we're going to continue to roll on with Vertigo as our second map, the pick of the Coalesce side. Down by 1 in this series. Can they bring it back? We'll find out after the break.